What happens when we teach steel to dream of godhood? It learns to survive not with instinct, but with a terrible fiery grace. It learns the hunger of the hunt in metal canyons where only titans dare to fly. It learns to paint the sky with the promise of annihilation, a symphony conducted by silicon. And it learns the deadliest lesson of all, how to become a ghost. Meet the Sentinels, phalanxes of steel, a testament to order and overwhelming power. Inside there is no pulse, only the cold, clean logic of a singular purpose, dominance. And their opposition, the Phantoms, spirits of chaos, masters of the unpredictable. For them, the terrain is not an obstacle. It is an ally, a weapon in their hunt. But the modern battlefield is not won by the strongest, but by the one who sees the entire board. Data, not radar, has become the sharpest weapon, turning shadows into targets. A command is given, a string of ones and zeros that will now set the heavens on fire. Surprise is the first casualty of war. The Phantoms realize they are being hunted by an enemy they cannot see. The moment of stillness before the storm, where a century of technology is held in a single breath. The first volley. Zeus's lightning bolts, guided by the mind of a machine. Their response is not panic. It is a violent ballet, practiced 1,000 times in a digital world. A silver mist, an illusion of metal created to deceive an electronic mind. The first blow is parried, not by armor, but by ingenuity. The attack was not just stopped, it was answered. The Phantoms have shown their fangs. A perfect geometric proof, executed at twice the speed of sound. This is the art of war beyond the horizon. An invisible weapon is unleashed, a silent storm of energy sent to blind the eyes of the enemy. For a single moment, the eye of the hunter is clouded. Its equation of death, rendered meaningless. This battle is not just of missiles and cannons, it is a war of ghosts in the machine. But there are always variables, flaws in the most perfect shield, and fate always finds a way through. An equation is solved, a guardian has fallen, a price has been paid on the digital battlefield. The first blood goes to the Phantoms. They sense a hesitation in their enemy, and they press their advantage. The chessboard is overturned. Now, it is a maelstrom of instinct and steel. The most ancient dance in the sky, a relentless chase between energy and angles. From organized tactics, the battle descends into organized chaos. Each pilot AI, a god in its own small world. In every storm, there is a quiet eye. The F-35 is not a duelist. It is the conductor of this destructive orchestra. Information is a weapon, a timely warning, more valuable than any missile. A mistake in a dogfight is never forgiven. It is only answered with fire. A messenger that cannot be fooled by digital tricks. It follows only one path, the path of heat. A final, desperate gamble to deceive death. A bet placed on a fleeting shower of light. But technology has evolved beyond the oldest tricks. Cold logic has triumphed over instinct. The scales are balanced. A life for a life. Steel for steel. The most anticipated duel. Two philosophies of stealth, now facing each other in a battle for survival. When you cannot win with power, you must win with intellect. That is the creed of the F-35. An unconventional maneuver, a decision that defies the textbooks calculated by an inhuman mind. The eye of the pilot becomes the barrel of the gun. The missile does not need to fly straight. It only needs to obey. An attack from the rear, launched by an enemy in the front. A paradox made possible only by technology. Blue team takes the lead. The digital ghosts are proving their worth on the battlefield. When tactics fail, a programmed rage takes hold. A desperate command, born not of logic, but of loss. The prey has been chosen. The king of the Sentinels must now face the wrath of an entire squadron. This is the ultimate test for a command unit. Can it survive being the focus of all destruction? A dance on the knife's edge between life and deletion, performed by a dancer made of titanium. The most ancient weapons of air combat have spoken. Nothing can deceive a bullet. The god is wounded. The impenetrable armor has finally been breached.
I'm on my way, Lee.
And in that chaos, a new variable emerges. A programmed loyalty, more powerful than any weapon. A final blow, a mercy strike, aimed at the heart of a wounded enemy. All equations lead to one result. All paths lead to an end. Is it loyalty or the ultimate calculation? Sacrificing one unit to preserve a more valuable one. One entity is deleted from the digital world, but in the memory of the squadron, a legend is born.
An honorable end.
Even an AI can recognize the tragic beauty in sacrifice. There is no room for honor in the code. A moment's hesitation is simply an opportunity. A perfectly coordinated strike, calculated down to the millisecond. The balance of power has irrevocably shifted. The pack of phantoms is now down to its leader. The war of squadrons is over. Now the hunt begins. Even when faced with certain defeat, the spirit of the warrior is the last thing to be extinguished. A classic hunter's tactic applied by predators of steel. The grand overview of the hunt. There is no escape. The final chase begins, between vertical walls of stone, where a single mistake means the end. A display of masterful skill, a desperate attempt to bend fate. The wounded machine is still a king. The experience of 1,000 simulated battles guides its hand. All roads lead to one point. Every chase has an end. The trap is sprung. The prey has walked into the cage. The acceptance of a warrior AI. An acknowledgement of defeat with honor. A moment of respect between two adversaries, two sides of the same technological coin. A swift end, not from hatred, but from the necessity of the mission. The last god of the Red Pantheon has fallen. The heavens now belong solely to the Sentinels. The mission is complete. The numbers have been calculated. The objective is achieved. The survivors return, bearing the scars of battle and the data of a newly written legend. Every scar is a story, a lesson learned and saved to the eternal memory of the machine. They arrived like a storm and leave in silence, returning the sky to its natural peace. And just like that, the dream is over. a play performed in a theater of silicon. But from that dream, knowledge is born. Experience is distilled. It analyzes sacrifice as an optimal tactical decision. But for us who watched, it was something more. It analyzes courage as a series of control inputs and respect as an unnecessary pause in combat. For the ultimate goal was never victory, it was knowledge. To make the machine of tomorrow more perfect than the one of today. We build these engines of war, perhaps in the hope they are never used. We program them for destruction, yet we find beauty in their struggle for survival. We teach them to hide, and then stand in awe of their ability to appear from nothing. We push them to their limits, only to see the limits of our own creation. And we teach them of sacrifice, perhaps to remind ourselves of its meaning. In this calculated chaos, every flight path is a line of code. Every explosion, a predicted outcome. We teach them the laws of physics, only so they can find the most elegant ways to bend them. And so technology returns to the most primal dance, an endless circle, where the winner is the one who can endure 1 second longer. A tiny piece of metal, enough to remind us that even gods are made of finite physical matter. From our perspective, it is fire and glory. From its perspective, it is merely variables on an endless chessboard. Is courage simply a calculation, where the AI determines the mission is more important than its own existence? For a millionth of a second, the combat algorithm paused, making way for something undefinable, the recognition of one warrior for another. Like the heroes of myth, they return from the darkness, not whole, but forever changed by the trial of fire. The storm has passed. The gods have gone back to sleep, leaving only steel and silicon, waiting for the next command to stir the heavens once more. We made them in our own image. But in doing so, what have they reflected back about ourselves? The scars on the sky will heal, but the story written in fire and smoke is now logged forever in the memory of the machine. The symphony is over, but its notes will echo on. Next time, we take the war to the sea, where giants of steel rule the waves. Thank you for watching. Join us on our next journey into the world of technological gods.